Serving 22,000 customers over I don't know how many square miles isn't an easy deal, and to serve them with video, with fiber, with data, it's a lot of challenges. But one of the things that I noticed that makes your company very unique is the weather. You guys are showing the weather, and you're doing that on your local channel. Why don't you talk a little bit about the motivation for why you're doing this?
Sure. We have a weather channel that we provide. It's our channel 1. So every time a set-top box boots, the very first channel it does come up on is channel 1 is our weather channel. We have it's locally customized with us using a partner, Weather Central, to provide that local weather, that local feel that's branded. And we're also working on getting our video cameras of our county squares to show up on our weather channel as well. Again, to have that local community feel, and also that they can turn on anytime and actually see the weather for specifically, for the areas that we service.
Why don't you talk a little bit about that community and why this is important?
Well, again, we are part of the community. We're one of the largest employers of the community. We're one of the we provide back. We have a lot of our employees, basically our ball coaches. That we're active in the community. We participate in Rotary, we participate in the Chamber of Commerce. So we are part of the community. For this area.
One of the big initiatives you have to support the community is your local content, the actual stuff you're producing. Why don't you talk about that for a moment?
Well, what we like to say is the local content is actually our differentiator, because Dish and Direct and Comcast, they all have HD and DVR, but they don't have our local content. Our local originated content, we have 2 different channels today for our Tennessee customers as well as our Kentucky customers, and then we also have 4 school channels as well that we provide access to either content that we provide or content the students can provide, and actually have that channel that's specifically dedicated for their school.
That's really cool. So they're creating the content themselves, and you're facilitating the distribution of it to the TV?
Exactly. So they can create their own content, whether it be, showing a play, or even like us, we actually provide, we film their ball games, basketball games, football games, soccer, baseball, softball, tennis. We try to get every sport on the local community channels to show our customers. We actually had one of our customers, or one of our schools, Allen County Schools, just finished second in the Kentucky State playoffs in basketball for the girls. So we were really excited about that, and we had as much coverage as we could they would allow us to show on our community channels. So we were really excited about that, and we tried to cover that as much as we can.
Wow, that's really exciting. And you're capturing moments that if you're not there, a lot of people can't see them, right?
Exactly. And so we do provide that to our kids at school. And so what we like to tell them is, hey, you need North Central Television, so you can go home and tell your parents, hey, if you want to watch me on TV tonight, on the school channel, we got to sign up for North Central. You can't be Dish or Direct or Comcast. You got to sign up for North Central if you want to see your kid or your grandkids on television.
Well, let's talk about your television system for a while. This is something you guys have been a pioneer in. A lot of arrows in the back for being a pioneer, but you guys have persevered, and you have a pretty robust IPTV system. Why don't you kind of describe it?
Yeah, so we've went through several different iterations of video, from a Motorola Next Level Days, Mirio with the IP Prime. We had Cisco for a while, and we've actually been on Minerva and Intone set-top boxes since late 2009, as a matter of fact, is when we actually made the decision to go that direction with IPTV. We've had a long road with IPTV, but again, we're only as good as our vendors, and Minerva and Intone has definitely stood by with us and helped us out, throughout those trials and tribulations. Probably with the Motorola days, we probably had a maximum of about 4,000 customers. We have over 6,500 customers now with our IPTV platform. So we're really excited about the customer growth that we've experienced recently within our IPTV platform.
I would imagine one of the advantages to IPTV is what you can do with the local. For instance, you're giving all those schools the ability to be on TV, whereas it would be very difficult to do that in a traditional kind of coax type approach, right?
Definitely coax approach, or even a competitor, a Dish or Direct. Again, we provide the students at the schools access to be able to provide their own content on their own channel. So again, with IP, we allow that to happen. One more thing from a local community standpoint is our weather channel. We have our own EAS, or emergency alert system, that's in place today. So in the event of a weather activity that happens in our territory, we basically will send that alert to the customers. So no matter what channel they're watching, no matter if they're watching HD, DVR, on demand, we'll take over their television in the event of emergency to make them aware. Again, another differentiator from a local community touch.
What impressed me was about a month ago, February of this year, you had some severe weather storms, and I noticed on your local channel you actually had some video about that. Right?
Correct. We have a guy that works for us. He supports all of our local video content, so he was out shooting weather video. Actually submits those to our Nashville stations. So whether it be CBS, ABC, or NBC. Last year, we didn't get anything on this year, but last year we actually had some weather events that actually video content from Macon County, Lafayette area made it to News Channel 5 as well as ABC News, WKRN.
Well, that's kind of good and bad in some ways, right, to have weather that bad. But I do want to ask you about the fact that you've got IPTV, and you now have an idea probably of what people are watching. So you have a good idea of how popular this local content is, I suspect.
We do. Our Channel 15 that we have is one of our local community channels for Tennessee, is in our top 10 of channels that are viewed. Sports channels, the ESPNs, unfortunately, it takes up the lion's share of the price of our video content. But from our subscriber standpoint, it's not even in the top 20. So unfortunately, ESPN doesn't care. They make me pay what I pay for that channel, and whether you're watching or not, you're still having to pay for that channel. So that's where you're seeing this over the top, generation between these, Generation X, Ys, and millennials. They'll have a hard time paying for pay TV and pretty much going everything over the top.
Well, in kind of going forward like that, where do you see kind of your product, or maybe the industry in general, going with video products?
Well, again, we'll always have a portion of our customer base, because they will want traditional pay for TV. We'll utilize our Antone set-top boxes, for that, and our partners, because of those big screens. They're always going to want that linear television on the big screens. But again, what we're seeing with the kids that are coming up, the college-age kids, and the younger ones, it's all about the tablet. It's all about mobile. Whether or not they can watch when they want to watch it, where they want to watch it, on what they want to watch it, whether it's Android, iOS, Windows, on a desktop, on a Mac. We're seeing streaming video consume 40 to 50% of our network from an internet bandwidth perspective, and we're seeing that grow year over year, and that's one of the things that scares us the most. It's not just the video per se from a multicast streaming, is all that over the top unicast streaming is what really concerns us, keeps us up at night.
Yeah, because that affects your backbone, which in turn affects the cost of bandwidth you have to pay every month, which gets passed on to your members, right?
Exactly. With the open internet order, with the FCC, and Title II, we're really curious to see how that's going to affect us. But with this, when we can't stop anything, from our network perspective, we can manage our network, and that's something we're going to have to do in the future. Right now, we are a all you can eat company. That's another differentiator we had from a cell phone provider. You pay us one flat fee for internet bandwidth, and pretty much an all you can eat. I can see in the future, we're going to have to do something about that, because we can't keep up right now with the growth that we're seeing on internet bandwidth.
Excellent. Tying it all together, you offer a kind of a myriad of services. You have the security services, you have the cloud services. How important are things like the user interface, have been able to kind of come to that TV and do a lot of things that, just real simple? Well,
and simple is what you said. It's the user interface, the remote control in your hand. That is the customer experience. So we have to make it easy. A majority of our truck rolls are about user issues. They're not about bugs. They're not about things going wrong with the equipment, with the software, with the hardware per se. It's about the user messing something up, and that's the biggest concern. What we try to limit our truck rolls on. So what we want to do is make that customer experience as easy as it can be from a EPG guide data, again, as well as that remote control in that customer's hands. We want that remote control to one, have a lot of longevity, from a stability standpoint, as well as functionality, and not overly complicated with a ton of buttons. So again, that's what we try to put something out there that's good quality, but again, easy to use as well.
Yeah, a huge challenge. Well, really appreciate your time, Clint. Thank you.
Appreciate your time. Thank you very much.